Well, hello everybody. It's been a while since I've made a video, and I've made a little bit of progress, as you can see. So all the guards and doors now are painted. That's not a very bad door panel fit there. That just means the door's not on. Panel fits are tricky, but not that bad. So I haven't wet rubbed any of this or buffed any of this up yet, but the finish is pretty good off the gun, and I think it'll come up really well. So that's really a bit of a milestone. Wasn't easy, never is really, and I think paintwork is such a crucial thing to get right because of course that's what everybody looks at. So I've primed it, blocked it, reprimed it, blocked it, and it's actually pretty good. It's pretty straight. In fact, it's very straight, and you would expect that. I would hope for that after the amount of work that I've put in. So that's the body of the car, and I just thought I'd catch up with the progress and let you know what's been going on. I painted the hinges separately. I guess originally they were painted on the doors, but I failed to see how they could have got paint into all those holes. They're quite tricky to paint, even when they're off the car. It's easy to miss areas. These guards, of course, aren't fitted on yet. They're just stuck there with I think one bolt just holding them in place, perhaps a couple. I figured that was the safest place for them while I was painting them, because the shed, as you probably can figure out, I don't have a lot of space in this shed. So what I'm doing now, these are the beading, I suppose you call them, the beading pieces which run along these lines between the mudguard and the front and rear cowls. I'm sure you're all familiar with them and you know what I'm talking about. These are stainless steel. I've just put a little bit of paint stripper on them. They've got some paint on them because when the car was painted before, the beading was just painted over. And these are held in place with these little metal bent over tabs here. They do come out, but they're pretty tricky to get out because they've got a rolled piece on the end which slides inside of this, and I just don't think I can get them out. They're a little bit rusty, but it's just surface rust, so they'll get a good sand, I think, and a bit of a treatment, and then perhaps a primer on them. But they're fine to use, really. You can buy them, but it will be very tricky to replace them. So those are the original ones, and I'm going to reuse those. I think they'll come up really well. One of the rear ones has got a very small little flat dent in it, which you may or may not be able to see just there. And I'll try and knock that out and file that and polish that up. So I think that'll come up all right. So that's progress. I didn't film any of this because it's all pretty straightforward, and I've done that sort of filming when I've done the bodywork on the rest of the car. You can see that the gloss on there off the gun's actually pretty good. It takes a couple of days for it to settle down a little bit, and I don't want to sort of cut and polish anything until it's hardened up for a couple of weeks, because, as I said before, it is acrylic lacquer, so we need to wait for it to harden up to do all that. But that's the next step, is to buff and polish. Now, I don't know whether you can see or not, but I painted the perimeter there of the door opening in red. It was originally brush painted in red. I just had a little aerosol here which I used. And that's so that when you put the interior trim in, it doesn't show that white line around there. I've also stuck some sound deadener on the inside of the doors, which I think might just help a little bit with vibration and what have you. So there we go. That's about it. This is a short film. Nothing much more to report. The next thing, of course, is to fit all these panels on. You say it easy, say it quickly, it sounds easy. I've got some new spears for these little sections here, the little decorative spears that go on. I've got to make sure I put those on the right way around, because I've seen quite a few cars where they're not. So that's the next step, I guess, now, is to clean up these little beading pieces. I'll start at the front. I'll fit the front guards on. There's not a lot of adjustment on the front guards. Most of the adjustment really comes off the hinges and the rear guards, from what I can tell. So now I have the battle of trying to get the door gaps right and the doors fitting properly, which If you've done it, no, it isn't easy. They did fit reasonably well. They're pretty good when they're in primer, so I'm hoping that that will work okay. And I have to touch up the sills. The sills have got a little bit knocked around, so I'll do that before I put these panels back on. And then we're really cooking with gas, as they say. I think we've really made some pretty solid headway. So until next time, I'll catch you later.